Hello students, in this video we will talk about sets and maps. Sets and maps are the advanced data structures introduced in JavaScript. They were introduced in ES6 and since then dealing with large data has become very simple using sets and maps when compared to arrays and objects. It was introduced in ES6, enhancing the code readability and efficiency. Okay. Now we already know the basic information about sets. Sets generally contains unique values, and maps they contain key and value pairs. Now, if you observe the last point, it offers specialized methods for manipulation, offering more control and efficiency. So, sets and maps come with very efficient methods that can be used to manipulate large data. So, let us talk about sets first. And like I said, sets is a collection of unique values of any type. When I say unique, we have to be careful that a set does not contain duplicate values or repeated values. So, this is the syntax of a set. We use a const type variable followed by a variable equals to new. New is an operator that is used to allocate memory and followed by the set keyword and the set itself, the values. And these are the various methods we have in hand to perform various operations on sets. For example, I have taken these methods. The first one is dot add value. Now, this method allows us to add new element with specified value, and we have dot has with parameter value. It returns boolean indicating whether an element exists or not. Third, we have dot delete with value as a parameter. It removes the specified element. So, the element that needs to be deleted has to be mentioned here so that it deletes the specified element. Then we have dot size. It returns the number of elements in the set. Later, we have dot clear. It removes all the elements from the set. So, with these methods you can imagine the application of sets and its respective methods. They can be used in data structures where we deal with data that needs to be altered quite often. So, it has a very wide range of application and it is an important topic. So, when to use sets in JavaScript? So, when we have to remove any duplicate from the array, you may use a set. Okay. When we want to perform optimization for frequent add, search or delete operations, we may use set operations. And lastly, to maintain a collection of unique items, this is the most important characteristic of a set. So, when we want to have a unique set of elements, then we have to use set. Then now let us talk about maps. A map holds key value pairs where keys and values can be of any type. For example, here this line shows the syntax of map. So, again we use const followed by a variable, and to this variable we are assigning a new map. Okay. Again new is used to allocate memory. So, here if you observe, we have distinctive pairs, key 1 followed by its value 1, key 2 followed by its value 2. So, here this key 1 represents value 1 and key 2 represents value 2. So, whenever we want to extract a value, we have to mention its corresponding key. And here are a few methods that used to perform manipulation over maps. Firstly, we have dot set and its parameters are key comma value. Now using dot set we can add or update an element with a specified key and value. Then we have dot get for with a parameter key. So here if you want to retrieve a particular value we need to mention the corresponding key. So it returns the value associated with the key or undefined if there is none. Then we have dot has key. Then we have you have already seen dot has in the case of sets. So it has the same similar function here in the maps. It checks if a key exists in the map. So here we are performing operations on the key, we are not touching values. Okay. So when it comes to maps we always have to deal with their keys. And later we have methods like dot delete, dot size, dot clear. So these we have already seen in the case of sets. Dot delete, it deletes an element by key. So if you want to delete a value or an element you need to mention its key. Then dot size, this returns the number of key value pairs are there in a particular map. And dot clear removes all the key value pairs. So these are the various methods available to perform manipulation, to perform various operations on maps. So how can we use maps for efficient data handling? Maps can be used to store complex key value data where keys are not strings or symbols. Okay. Then use cases requiring frequent addition and removal of key value pairs. There we can use maps. And keeping the insertion order of keys. Okay. Here when it comes to objects, object holds properties, just the properties, but here using maps we can have key and values unlike objects. Okay. And this is the best scenario where both keys and values are important to maintain in pairs. Example, caching data results against unique request parameters. This is the best example we can have. Once again I repeat, caching data results against unique request parameters. Okay. So these are the various scenarios where we can use maps. Now let us try to compare sets and maps, and according to the situation we can decide which one to choose. First let us go with sets. It stores unique values mainly used for presence checks, uniqueness and iterations. Okay. Whereas maps, they are used to store key value pairs, useful for direct access, maintaining order and complex data structures. Now this raises a question, can a map have repeated values unlike sets? So you can decide where we can use maps and where we can use sets based on that particular question. Okay. Then finally choosing between sets and maps, it depends on the requirement for unique values like I said. Now set or key values associations. So if you are dealing with a data structure that has to maintain unique values, then you may have to go for sets. And if you are dealing with a data structure that can accommodate duplicate values but with unique keys, then you may go for maps. Thank you.